Hello there, welcome to the channel. In this practice questions for GATE series, we'll discuss questions which will help you revise and practice the various concepts, skills and tricks that you must have developed during your GATE preparation. So make sure you watch this video entirely to enhance your GATE preparation. And if you haven't done yet, do subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss out on the new videos. For a power plant having pressure ratio of 8, operating on Brayton cycle with air as a working substance, the maximum cycle temperature is 1127 degrees centigrade. If the turbine work is 2.5 times the compressor work, the cycle efficiency will be close to. Now the best way to approach such questions is with the help of a diagram. So we'll first draw a TS diagram. Now Brayton cycle is constant pressure process, so we'll first draw constant pressure lines. So this is P equal to C and this is P equal to C. So first we'll have an isentropic compression process, then constant pressure heat addition, isentropic expansion and constant pressure heat rejection. So we have the cycle 1, 2, 3, 4. So compression followed by heat addition, expansion and then heat rejection. So this is how the cycle operates. So this pressure, this is P2 equal to P3 and this pressure line, this is P1 equal to P4. Now what is the information given to us? The pressure ratio is 8. So we have the pressure ratio Rp, which is P2 by P1 and P3 by P4. So we have P2 by P1, which is same as P3 by P4, is equal to 8. The maximum cycle temperature is 1127 degrees centigrade. The maximum temperature is at point 3. So we have T3 is 1127 degrees centigrade. We'll convert it to Kelvin. So plus 273. This is 1400 Kelvin. And the turbine work is 2.5 times the compressor work. So we have turbine work is 2.5 times the compressor work. So this is the information that we have and we have to find out the cycle efficiency. Now to find the cycle efficiency, we need the temperatures at points 1, 2, 3 and 4, of which we are already knowing temperature at 3. So we'll now try to find out temperatures at the other points using the information that we have. So first we already know T3 and 3 to 4 is an isentropic process. So for process 3 to 4 we can write T3 by T4 will be equal to P3 by P4 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. Now P3 by P4 is 8. So this is 8 raised to, now the question says air is the working substance and if nothing is mentioned we'll take gamma for air as 1.4. So this will be 1.4 minus 1 divided by 1.4. So we get this as 1.811. So therefore T4 will be equal to T3 upon 1.811, which is 1400 upon 1.811, which comes out to 772.863 Kelvin. Now in a similar manner, 1 to 2 is an isentropic process. So we can have T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. So this will be again 8 raised to 0.4 divided by 1.4, which will be 1.811. So we have T2 will be 1.811 into T1. So we have one equation between T2 and T1. But to get the values of both T1 and T2, we'll need to have one more equation. So we can utilize this information, that is Wt is 2.5 times Wc, to get the second equation. Now what is turbine work given by? Turbine work will be H3 minus H4. So we have Wt equal to H3 minus H4 and taking the ideal case assumption, this will be Cp into T3 minus T4. This is of course in kilojoule per kg units. Similarly, compressor work Wc, compression is 1 to 2. So compressor work magnitude will be H2 minus H1. So this is H2 minus H1 and again this will be Cp into T2 minus T1. This again will be in kilojoule per kg. Now the information that we have is Wt is 2.5 times Wc. So therefore we have Cp into T3 minus T4 is 2.5 times Cp into T2 minus T1. So Cp gets cancelled and we have T2 minus T1 is equal to T3 minus T4. We have T3 is 1400 and T4 we got is 772.863. So this is 1400 minus 772.863 divided by this 2.5 will go in the denominator. So this comes out as T2 minus T1 equal to 250.855. This will be in Kelvin. This is the temperature difference. So we have T2 minus T1 equal to 250.855 and we have T2 equal to 1.811 T1. So on solving these equations we get T1 equal to 309.316 Kelvin and we'll have T2 equal to 560.17 Kelvin. So now we have all the temperatures, we can find out the cycle efficiency. So cycle efficiency will be equal to W net divided by heat added, which will be equal to turbine work minus compressor work upon heat added. So you have seen turbine work is Cp T3 minus T4 minus compressor work Cp T2 minus T1 divided by heat addition. So heat addition is in process 223, which is a constant pressure process. So it will be Cp into T3 minus T2. So this is Cp into T3 minus T2. So all the terms are in kilojoule per kg units. So Cp gets cancelled and we can substitute the values. We have all the values. So efficiency will be equal to, we have T3 is 1400 minus T4. T4 we found out was 772.863. Here is the value 772.863 is the first term, minus T2 minus T1. We have the values over here 560.17 minus T1 is 309.316 divided by T3. T3 is, we have substituted over here 1400 minus T2, which is 560.17. So on calculation this comes as 0.448 or this is 44.8%. So let's see what options are given to us. So the closest option is 45 and we are asked the cycle efficiency will be close to. So the answer will be option D. So it was a nice question on Brayton cycle. We have to find out the efficiency and the information given to us was maximum cycle temperature, the pressure ratio and relation between turbine work and compressor work. So in general, whenever you are talking about a question on cycle efficiency, you will be required to know the temperatures at all the points. So we decided to do the same. From the maximum cycle temperature, which happens to be T3, we found out T4 using the information that this is an isentropic expansion process. So from T3 we first found out what is T4. Then to find out T1 and T2, we had two equations, one coming from the isentropic process and other coming from this condition which was given to us. So we got two equations between T2 and T1. We solved them, we got the values of T1 and T2. And once we had all the four temperatures, we applied the formula for efficiency and got the answer. And we got the answer is option D. So I hope you have followed this question. An ideal closed cycle gas power plant following Brayton cycle operates between the temperature limits of 1027 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade. The working fluid is air. For maximum work output from the cycle, the pressure ratio will be. So first we'll draw the TS diagram for this question. So this is a cycle 1, 2, 3, 4. First we will have isentropic compression followed by constant pressure heat addition, then isentropic expansion and then constant pressure heat rejection. So this is a cycle 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the constant pressure lines. So this is P2 equal to P3 and this is P1 equal to P4. Now coming to the question, what it is saying is the cycle operates between the temperature limits of 1027 and 27 degrees centigrade. So in short, we are given the temperature limits, which is T3 and T1. So we are given this is one temperature limit and this is another. So this is T max and this is T minimum. And for maximum work output, what should be the pressure ratio? So we'll substitute the values at the end. We'll solve the question in terms of T max and T minimum and see what expression do we get. So the question talks about maximum work output. So we'll directly write down the expression for W net. W net is W turbine minus W compressor. Now what is the turbine work? It will be H3 minus H4. So this is H3 minus H4 minus the compressor work will be H2 minus H1, that is magnitude. And then following the ideal gas assumption, this will be Cp into T3 minus T4 minus Cp into T2 minus T1. This is in kilojoule per kg units. Now we have T max, this is nothing but T3, and T minimum, this is nothing but T1. And in this expression, we have all the temperature terms present. So what we will try to do is get T4 in terms of T3 and get T2 in terms of T1. So we are eliminating T4 and T2. We'll write them in terms of T1 and T3. So this is one expression. We'll come to this later. So we have 1 to 2 is an isentropic process. So T2 by T1 will be equal to P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. So T2 will be equal to T1 into this P2 by P1 is nothing but Rp raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. So we have T2 in terms of T1. And we also have to find out T4 in terms of T3. So we have 3 to 4 is an isentropic process. So T3 by T4 will be equal to P3 by P4 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. So T4 will be equal to T3 divided by Rp raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. So we have got T2 and T4 in terms of T1 and T3 respectively, which are the minimum and maximum cycle temperatures. So we will rewrite the expression of W net. So we have W net will be equal to Cp into T3 is as it is minus T4 is T3 upon Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. So this is T3 upon Rp raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma. And second term is T2 minus T1. T2 is T1 into Rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. T1 into Rp raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma minus T1 as it is. And we have taken Cp throughout common. So to make it convenient, we will take gamma minus 1 by gamma as a constant A. So this becomes W net equal to Cp into T3 minus T3 upon Rp raised to A minus T1 Rp raised to A minus T1. This is T1. Now looking at the question again, what it is saying, for maximum work output from the cycle, what will be the pressure ratio? The constraints are T max and T minimum. So instead of T max and T minimum, we have written it as T3 and T1. So we have the entire expression for W net in terms of Rp. So the variable is Rp. So we'll write down for maximum work output, that is maximum W net, dW net by dRp should be equal to 0. So we will have Cp is a constant, Cp into this T3 is a constant, so derivative is 0, minus T3 upon Rp raised to A. T3 is a constant, so we have minus T3 as it is. The term is 1 upon Rp raised to A, which is Rp raised to minus A. So its derivative will be minus A Rp raised to minus A minus 1 minus T1 into Rp raised to A. So this will be T1 into the derivative will be A Rp raised to A minus 1 minus T1, which is a constant, so the derivative will be 0. So this is the term that we'll have and equal to 0. So Cp gets cancelled. So this is A into T3 into Rp raised to minus A minus 1 equal to A into T1 into Rp raised to A minus 1. So the simplification that we have done is this minus into minus plus, and this negative term has been taken on the other side. So we have A getting cancelled. So if we take T1 on this side, this is T3 by T1 will be equal to, we can take this Rp term on the other side. So this is Rp raised to A minus 1 as it is, divided by Rp raised to minus A minus 1. So by law of indices, this will get simplified to Rp raised to 2A. So we have Rp raised to 2A is equal to T3 by T1. So Rp optimum will be equal to T3 by T1 raised to 1 by 2A. So this is the optimum pressure ratio for which we will have the maximum work output. And what is A? A is nothing but gamma minus 1 by gamma. So we'll substitute that. So this is T3 by T1 raised to 1 upon 2 times gamma minus 1 by gamma, which is nothing but T3 by T1 raised to gamma divided by 2 times gamma minus 1. So this is the optimum pressure ratio. So now coming to the question. So we have Rp optimum will be equal to T3 by T1 raised to gamma upon 2 times gamma minus 1. And you can rewrite this as Tmax by T minimum. So we have the values now. So this will be T3 is 1027. So 1027 plus 273 in Kelvin divided by T1 is 27. So that is 27 plus 273 in Kelvin raised to gamma. Now the question says working fluid is air, and if nothing is mentioned, we'll take gamma for air as 1.4. So this will be 1.4 divided by 2 times 1.4 minus 1. So this on solving comes as 13.015. So the answer for this question will be 13.015. Anyway, this is just the value part. The main concept that we solved was what is the optimum pressure ratio when you have the temperature limits fixed. So that we obtained was Rp optimum is Tmax by T minimum raised to gamma upon 2 times gamma minus 1. So you can make a note of this expression and remember it as a formula if you want. Otherwise, we have discussed how to get the expression. A heat engine operating on reversible Carnot cycle works between the maximum and minimum temperatures of 1227 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade. The entropy change of the working substance during the heat addition process is 0.3 kilowatt per Kelvin. The net power produced by the engine will be close to dash kilowatt. So in this question, one way will be we can proceed with the help of formulae. We are having Tmax and T minimum. So from this information, we can find out what will be the efficiency. Then we have the entropy change during the heat addition process. So we have Tmax information as well as delta S. So we can find out what will be the heat added in the cycle. And then from the efficiency and the heat addition information, we can find out what will be the W net. Alright. So one way to proceed is this. So you can try it out in this manner. But what we can also do in this question is we can solve it graphically. That way we'll be able to reach the answer faster. So let's see that now. So if we make the TS diagram of a Carnot cycle. It is going to be a rectangle, right? Something like this. Alright. So this is the Tmax that is given to us. This is Tmax and this is T minimum. Right. And what information they are saying is the entropy change of the working substance during the heat addition process is 0.3. So this is the heat addition process QA. So if we call this process 1 to 2 and let's then complete the cycle. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a heat engine. So we have a clockwise cycle over here. So the entropy change that they are talking about is this. So this is the information that is given to us, delta S during the heat addition process. So we are given this much. This is the delta S that is given to us. And we are asked to find out what is the net power. So from the first law of cycles, we know that W net will be same as Q net. And Q net is nothing but this area. Q net is nothing but this area. So this area is Q net, which will be same as W net. So how much is that area going to be equal to? So we have delta S, that is the width, into this height. This height is nothing but Tmax minus T minimum. Tmax minus T minimum. So here now we have the difference of temperature. So we need not sit and convert these to Kelvin, which otherwise if we had gone for efficiency and all, we will first have to convert it to Kelvin and then use all the formulae. So here we can directly have the answer now. We have delta S, we have T max, we have T minimum. So this is 0.3 into T max 1227 minus T minimum 27. So this is 1200 into 0.3, that is 360, and the answer will be kilowatt. Right? They have given the entropy change as a rate. So the answer will be 360 kilowatt, and that is option C. So the answer will be option C. The COP of a heat pump operating on reverse Carnot cycle is phi. It is proposed to use it as a refrigerator to produce a refrigerating effect of 10 kilowatt. The required work input will be dash kilowatt. It's given that it is operating on a reversed Carnot cycle. So the relation between COP of the heat pump and COP of the refrigerator is COP of heat pump minus COP of refrigerator is 1. So we'll have COP of refrigerator will be COP of heat pump minus 1. So this will be 4. Now COP of refrigerator is nothing but the desired effect, that is the refrigerating effect, divided by the net work required for the effect. So we'll have 4 equal to, we want the refrigerating effect to be 10 kilowatt upon W net, and so we'll have W net equal to 10 by 4, that is 2.5 kilowatt. So this will be the required work input. So the answer will be 2.5. A question for you to solve. Make sure you solve it and submit your answer in the comment section. Do give a like if you found this video helpful and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you next time.